With so much new stuff being showcased at Superbooth 19, I thought I'd summarize 7 things that you might have missed from Superbooth. There is something wonderful about enthusiasts making replicas of classic synths. Talking to the people at Sync, the passion and love for synths and their history really shows, and their synths also sound great. Is another Swedish company making innovative products. This is a hardware version of the software synthesizer RetroLog. Cubase users will know this synth very well, and what Elk does is providing a platform for turning software synths into hardware synths. They make a development board that other companies can use to create hardware versions of their favorite soft synths, VSTs, rack extensions, etc. And here is another example where Elk made a hardware version of a Reason synthesizer.
Yeah, so it has CV compatibility, gating, gate out, and this is based on the Raspberry Pi. So we are running our software on Raspberry Pi.
These are not just MIDI controllers for the software, but actual hardware synthesizers. So you could say that it's a total 180 on the trend of making software versions of the classics. And here we are instead seeing software turning into physical objects. The sound and feel of these hardware versions are quite good, and I really hope more companies will get behind this idea, as I think many of us would love to be able to use our favorite VSTs as hardware units. So check them out, link in the description. The day before I left the Superbooth, I got a package from Tangible Waves, who makes AE Modular. This is a true affordable modular ecosystem, and I was surprised at how good it sounds and that the build quality is actually not bad at all. Just like Volca's, it's a bit plastic, but it still has a nice feel to it. At Superbooth, they showcased a bunch of new modules, as well as running their systems on power banks for hours upon hours. I mean, portable modular, anyone? Seems just quite cool. The AE Modular started on Kickstarter and has since gotten quite the big following. Speaking to the manufacturer, I actually feel confident that we will see continued development of this ecosystem over time. So check them out, link down below. This synthesizer from Korg Digitakt was honestly my favorite thing at Superbooth, not because of the sound, but because it was such a pleasant little surprise. While I felt that the new Bass Volca wasn't all that exciting, let's face it, I am not very into acidy sounding bass synths, I thought that the Digitakt was a breath of fresh air. Small, portable, but also quite deep synthesizer with effects, with MIDI. I mean, what's not to love here? So now we just got to make sure that they actually build on this line of products and synths, as I think it could be a good successor to the Monotrons. Portable seems to be a little bit of a theme on this list. I was actually blown away by the Uno drum. Analog plus digital drum synthesis, battery powered with a lot of features to help you get that groove going, and affordable too. I played a bunch with it during Superbooth and actually got a unit here at home to test out. And did I say that it has a control all function too? Well, it does, and it's actually a lot of fun on a little portable drum machine, just messing stuff up and then reverting back to the original sound. So so this is something to keep an eye on for sure. Next up is a Eurorack oscillator that offers a unique way to create sounds. The controls changes the graphics, and the graphics create the sound, which means that there is no real abstraction between control, visuals and the sound. What you see is the sound. Now, how useful it will be for traditional use cases, I'm not sure, but it's very refreshing to see something like this, a totally novel approach to an oscillator after seeing all of the, traditional analog ones. This here is an effects unit that really fits synth nerds. I had never seen this before, and I was actually just grabbed by some of the representatives to check it out, but I was pleasantly surprised about it. It offers a filter, reverb, delay, LFO, and more stuff, as well as modulation options, and I do hope to check it out here on the channel in the future, because I think it fits really well with a synth setup. Lastly on the list is the people. The vibe at Superbooth is amazing. If you haven't been there, you really should consider going. It's a nice blend of like music gear expo, music event and a nerd support group. The atmosphere was friendly and I had the opportunity to meet so many great people, fans, viewers, manufacturers, musicians, everybody. It was so very nice. Thank you everybody who came up and said hello. It really made the trip so much more worth it for me personally. What I like about Superbooth is how it blends the nerdy tech side of synths with music and the artistic side. It's a place where you don't really have to be ashamed about being more excited about a new oscillator than some live music act or going to the club. You can really geek out, and I really enjoyed that a lot. And I want to end off here by thanking Reverb.com for sponsoring the Superbooth trip. Be sure to check them out. Link in the description. It's a good place to go to if you want to buy or sell used equipment. I also want to thank all the patrons, because without you, none of this would have ever been possible. When I started out, I said, I might go to a synth event, and now it was my first time at Superbooth, and I think I managed to do some decent coverage of the event anyway. So thank you so much for sticking around and supporting. And lastly, a big thank to everyone who have been following the coverage. This was my first year going, and I hope to go again, because it was actually very cool. So thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.